Hello, this is the BBC News with Fiona MacDonald. The former US President Donald Trump says he has been formally indicted in the federal investigation into his handling of classified documents after his presidency. US media have reported that he's facing at least several counts that include obstruction, conspiracy and giving false statements. Mr. Trump protested his innocence on his Truth Social platform and stated that he had been summoned to appear in federal court in Miami on Tuesday. Hundreds more international firefighters are being sent to Canada to help tackle huge wildfires, which have created a toxic blanket of smoke across the eastern coastline of much of North America. The European Union has offered to send nearly 300 firefighters to Canada to add to those deployed by other countries. Ryan Ness from the Canadian Climate Institute in Toronto said the scale of the wildfires was unprecedented and posing a challenge that went beyond Canada's boundaries.
Even areas like Toronto, which almost never see anything resembling a wildfire, have been impacted this year by smoke from fires, both on the west and east coast, hundreds or even thousands of kilometers away. We're seeing New York City experiencing even worse air quality than we are here. So this is not just a problem that's isolated to where wildfires occur, but is a continental scale challenge.
President Biden and the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak have announced what they called a new partnership between the US and the UK after holding talks at the White House. The agreement covers defence, trade and ways to regulate new AI technology. Mr. Biden told reporters that there was no issue on which the two countries were not leading together. The World Health Organization is warning that cholera could spread to areas of Ukraine affected by the destruction of the Kakhovka Dam. Traces of the cholera bacteria have been previously found in Ukraine. The head of the WHO said they were trying to support the country's health service to prevent an outbreak. The US Supreme Court has ruled that the state of Alabama violated federal law and discriminated against black voters when it drew its electoral map in 2021. The justices found that the Republican-dominated state had drawn up a congressional map with only one district where black voters were in the majority, despite their making up more than a quarter of its electorate. They ordered Alabama to create a second district. Democrat and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries welcomed the ruling.
I haven't had the opportunity to review the Supreme Court decision, but it appears to be an affirmation that the Voting Rights Act is the law of the land. It's clear that the Alabama legislature engaged in race-based gerrymandering. And they're not the only ones throughout the country who have done that. And we can at least draw some comfort from the fact that the 1965 Voting Rights Act remains alive.
BBC News. Nearly 300 orphans caught in the crossfire of the ongoing conflict in Sudan have been evacuated from the capital Khartoum. The International Committee of the Red Cross said they had been taken to the city of Madani, 200 kilometres to the south. Nearly 70 children at the Magoma orphanage have died from malnutrition, dehydration and infection since fighting broke out between rival military factions in April. 70 carers were also evacuated in the operation. A white woman in the US state of Florida who has been charged with manslaughter after fatally shooting her black neighbour has admitted to police that she had used racial slurs against the victim's children in the years leading up to the killing. Susan Louise Lawrence shot Ajike Owens through her front door after the mother of four came to her house to confront the suspect about an earlier incident. The biggest ruby ever to be auctioned has been sold in New York for a record sum of just under $35 million. The cut stone, which weighed over 55 carats, was discovered last year in a mine in Mozambique. More from Electra Naismith.
Polished rubies of more than 5 carats are extremely rare, so this stone weighing in at 101 carats uncut was very, very special. It heralds from Mozambique, from a mine containing one of the world's largest deposits of rubies. Africa is the new kid on the block in the ruby world, Mozambique the young upstart in a space previously dominated by Burmese stones. Sotheby's, who auctioned the record-breaking gem, have described it as a once-in-a-lifetime jewel.
In tennis, an unseeded player, Karolina Muchova from the Czech Republic, has reached the women's final at the French Open. Ranked 43rd in the world, she beat Arina Sabalenka of Belarus in 3 sets. Muchova will face the tournament's defending champion, Iga Świątek, on Saturday. BBC News.